Hello. It's been quite some time since you and I have had a conversation. Maybe about 6 months since the last time I posted a video of this nature. I think I was playing Dying Light in the background while I was talking about what I was talking about, so perhaps this time I figured it would be a better idea if I played something a little bit more quiet, so I had a lot less to distract me. Hopefully, at least. I figured since it had been quite some time since the last time I've made a video like this, I'd make another one. So I'm going to head down there to that little section over there. I'm going to pick up my fishing rod in the hut once I get down there. And I want to talk today about something that I struggled with for a very long time, and I still do struggle with sometimes, but for the most part I seem to have found a way to tackle, and that's motivation. Whether it's motivation to get up in the morning to make yourself a coffee, or to fill out a massive map of Minecraft, or to learn how to drive, learn a new skill. Motivation is one of the most important things you can have in your day to day. Without motivation, you lack the will to want to do anything, to want to get up, to want to eat, to want to drink, to want to talk to other people, to want to be good to yourself. You need to be motivated to at least some degree. And I've struggled with that for a very long time, ever since, well, forever really. I've had to find ways to communicate with others in regards to whether or not I'm feeling motivated in this or that or the other thing. But I've been feeling a lot more motivated in the last 8 months or so, and I feel like I've gotten much better at motivating myself to build all of this. I've motivated myself to change my behavior in my real life and adjust my relationships and friendships accordingly. I've been able to open myself up more emotionally to other people, and I feel like that's done me some real good. I'm still healing, but it takes time, and that's okay. So, how did I become more motivated? Well, for me, it was a mix of things, but if I were to be completely honest, the main way I was able to motivate myself was by giving myself goals every day. For example, I have this friend I spend a lot of time with. He's in a lot of the videos on my channel, and he is my number one motivator. Do I want to get up and do this, get up and do that? Do I want to study because I'm currently in college? Or do I want to spend time with him for the day? Or I could just lie in bed and be sad the entire day. And of course, you can't blame someone for being sad, but there has to be a line where you say, you're lying in bed, you're choosing to lie in bed, and there has to be a way for you to be motivated. And not everyone has that motivation. For many, many years, I never had that motivation. And you can't really form motivation out of thin air. It's not one of those things. But for me, motivation was never something that was easy to come by. I struggled with it tremendously. And like I said before, I still struggle with it. It's not something I can just manufacture. It's something that I need to gain over a long period of time. And it comes and goes sometimes. But the main motivator for me is, I don't know if I still have this philosophy, but for a while I had this philosophy where if I don't learn something every day, then that day is a waste of time. Perhaps that line of thinking is a good thing in a way. It gets me motivated, it got me motivated to really go out and try new things and learn new things, but it also made it feel like every day I needed to reach a particular bar, and if I didn't reach that bar, that there was a failure and I should be ashamed of that. So what I've done is I've adjusted it so I don't work like that now. Instead, I say to myself, hey, do I want to have a good day today? And what can I do to make that day better for me? What can I do to make that day better for someone else, like my friend or some family or myself? And I find that that has been a stronger motivator than learning new things. I still push myself to learn new things, as everybody should, but I don't make it like the be all end all. It's not a if you don't learn something, the day is a failure thing anymore. That used to be a serious issue that I had. And some days I do feel like I've wasted a day by not learning enough. But even while I'm thinking like that, I remind myself that not every day has to be some sort of bar that I need to meet. I don't have to meet everybody's expectations or my expectations every single day. I can just take the days as they come. I can do whatever I need to do one day. I could study for a few hours, and then the next day I could platinum a game, and the following day I could go out and sit at a park all day. It doesn't really matter what I do as long as I feel like that day has made me feel fulfilled. And to be motivated enough to get to that place, I need to get into a position where motivation can come organically, not just from surrounding myself with other people or relying on other people to motivate me, but finding a way to make it so I can motivate myself without any outside help. And it's a lot more difficult than you'd think. I struggle with that sometimes. Sometimes it's really difficult to really put into words just how frustrating it can be when my motivation is tied to other people. Lately, I've found myself being motivated to finish this long bucket list of games that I had. Because I realize now, because I am now 22, that my life is... I've already experienced a large portion of my life, and I still have a lot of my life to go, but I have a lot of time here where I'm just sitting, studying, sleeping, hanging with friends, sleeping, eating, sleeping, and as much as I do enjoy spending time with my friend, it's everything else around that can get monotonous. So what I try to do is I find new things to do every day. So I'll get up, I'll do my thing, and then they'll be like, oh, I'm going to study for 3 hours, and then in the afternoon I'm going to play this game, or I'm going to play something completely different. Like, video games have been an essential part of my life ever since I was very, very young. The first game I ever played was Toy Story 2 for the PlayStation 1 when I was maybe about 2 or 3 years old. This would have been about 20 years ago. And a lot of my very important moments in life are tied to video games in that sense. So for me, when it comes to motivation, I'm like, do I want to try a horror game for once? Do I want to try a game I've already played before in like a different format, like on a different system? Do I want to stream a game to my friend and we can both play together? Do I want to play something stupid like Wheel of Fortune with a friend? Do I want to play something on my own for a while? Do I want to play a racing game? Do I want to play a card game? And I find myself motivated to try all these new things and even some older things a lot more than I used to be. Another example of motivation is this channel, actually, surprisingly enough. For many years, I wanted to dip my toes into content creation, whether it was 2014 when I made a bunch of really old Five Nights at Freddy's videos that I refused to delete because they're a part of my channel's history. But I also did a lot of Final Space videos when that show was still around, and those are still the biggest videos on my channel by a long shot. And the videos I make now, although certainly not like super popular or anything, I make them for myself and my friend, so we can look back on the things that we've done and just appreciate the memories and everything. It's nice to know that some people watch them, not a tremendous amount, but I'm happy with what I've got. Whether it's 1 or 2 or 3 people watching, as long as someone sees it, I'm happy. I like working on the thumbnails. They're really entertaining to make. I love working on the videos themselves. I find myself really enjoying putting videos together. They're really just... There's something I wouldn't have been motivated to do a long time ago. And I couldn't be happier that I have found the motivation to proceed. If I hadn't, then I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be making videos like on random games like I currently do. I wouldn't be making this video right now. I wouldn't be building this massive Minecraft world up from scratch and assigning villagers their own buildings. I wouldn't be motivated to do any of this. I would just be an empty husk of a person. An unhappy person who just cannot find motivation to do anything. Whether it's something as minuscule as working on a Minecraft world or as fundamental as deciding, hey, I'm going to study this in college. All that mattered to me in that moment was that I felt motivated to do something new. And look what I can make out of it. And I can safely say I'm happy with what I've made, whether it's in Minecraft or on YouTube or anywhere else. I was in a spot last year where I felt that I was trapped. I had a very poor experience with an ex-partner of mine last year, which I detailed in a previous video, and that left a lot of damage on me. It took away a lot of my motivation to want to do anything. It took a lot from me. But I feel like almost a year later, I can safely say I'm a better person than I ever was the previous year. I feel much better. I feel motivated to do anything. I feel like I can do anything. There's things that I have been wanting to do for years that I finally do now. How do you find motivation in such dire straits? When you feel like you're at rock bottom, when you feel like there's nowhere to go, when you feel so depressed or you feel like there's no way out. How do you find that motivation to continue? And to that, I say, I don't know. I can't give you a solid answer. Sometimes I don't even know exactly how I became as motivated as I am now. Some days it'll go away, but then it will come back within a day and things will go back to normal. It isn't a permanent thing. I'm going to struggle with this for the rest of my life. And honestly, that's okay. Because as long as I'm continuing to be motivated to do the things I'd like to do, whether it's studying creative writing, whether it's working on my Minecraft world, or playing with my friend, or making YouTube content, it really doesn't matter to me. I will continue to do whatever makes me happy, and nothing will prevent me from getting there. I will continue to post videos on this channel because they make me happy. I use the PlayStation 5 editing software, which you wouldn't think would make for some decent content, but it actually is a pretty good editing software, all things considered. I used to make, before I mean, even on PC, I used Windows Movie Maker for a long time. I never even used any, like, serious movie editing software besides that. So to go from Movie Maker to the Share Factory on PS4 to the Share Factory on PS5 is a really scuffed way of making content. My channel has really been scuffed from the beginning in that regard. But no matter what I had to deal with, whether it was in my personal life or even something as simple as switching editing softwares, my motivation remains the same. It can falter like it used to, but nowadays I feel so motivated to make videos and to build stuff and just to be happy. And I can say I didn't feel like that last year. I felt stuck, trapped, like there was nothing, like I would have had something happen to me and that would have been the be all end all. I would have been so depressed. I would have got myself into such a state where I wouldn't even want to proceed. And now I can go through high stress situations and I feel like I can handle that a lot more. Heck, even as something as like a Minecraft build, for example, like yesterday, I really wanted coral for the lake because my friend and I, we dug out this entire lake about 5 blocks deep, maybe 70 or 80 blocks wide, in like a really strange formation, and we needed coral. So I went 2,500 blocks east and spent hours gathering this stuff. And look, went from just a really barren sand to this really beautiful coral environment. I'm motivated to do these things, and I wouldn't have been motivated to do them last year, or maybe perhaps even the year before. For a very long time, I didn't feel motivated to do anything. And now I'm motivated to do most things. And isn't that what life was really about? Just being motivated to do even the most basic things, to be motivated to do anything, to be motivated to do what makes you happy. This and this, my channel, my studies, my friend, they make me happy. And as long as they do, I will continue being motivated to continue all those things. Thanks for watching.